In late February 2026, the world woke up to one of the most dangerous conflicts in modern history. The United States and Israel launched major military strikes on Iran, pushing the Middle East into a new war. Within hours, Iran retaliated with missiles and drones across the region. Now global powers like Russia and China are reacting, oil markets are shaking, and the entire world is watching closely. What exactly started this war? And where could it lead? For decades, tensions between Iran and Israel have been building. Israel has long accused Iran of developing nuclear weapons and supporting armed groups across the Middle East. Iran denies building nuclear weapons, but its nuclear program and missile development have worried Western countries for years. Negotiations between the United States and Iran had been ongoing, but disagreements over nuclear restrictions and missile programs kept tensions high. By early 2026, the situation reached a breaking point. On February 28, 2026, Israel launched what it called a preemptive strike on Iran, targeting military bases, missile systems, and leadership facilities. The operation was conducted in coordination with the United States, marking one of the largest joint attacks on Iran in history. The goal, according to officials, was to remove what they described as a growing threat from Iran's nuclear and missile programs. Several Iranian military leaders and strategic sites were reportedly hit during the strikes. The operation pushed the Middle East into a full-scale military confrontation. Iran responded quickly. Tehran launched hundreds of missiles and drones targeting Israeli positions and U.S. assets across the region. The attacks spread across multiple countries in the Middle East, raising fears of a wider regional war. Military bases, air defense systems, and strategic infrastructure became targets on both sides. Within days, the conflict had expanded beyond Iran and Israel. As the war escalated, naval and air battles intensified. Reports indicated that a U.S. submarine sank an Iranian warship, marking another major escalation in the conflict. At the same time, new Israeli strikes hit locations near Tehran and other military sites. With both sides continuing attacks, analysts warn that the conflict could spread across the entire Middle East. The war quickly triggered reactions from global powers. Russia and China strongly condemned the U.S. and Israeli attacks, calling them violations of international law and warning about the risk of a wider global conflict. Several countries, however, voiced support for the United States and Israel, citing concerns about Iran's nuclear ambitions. Meanwhile, the United Nations called for urgent diplomacy and de-escalation. This war is not just a regional conflict. Iran sits near the Strait of Hormuz, one of the most important oil shipping routes in the world. Any disruption there could affect global oil supplies and fuel prices. Markets around the world are already reacting, and experts warn that a prolonged war could trigger economic shocks across many countries. Right now, the biggest question is whether the conflict will escalate even further. Could more countries join the war? Will diplomacy succeed in stopping the fighting? Or are we witnessing the beginning of a much larger geopolitical crisis? The coming weeks may determine the future of the Middle East, and possibly the world.